you're talking to an SME who's probably not engaged because they haven't got a sort of expert within that, what advice would you give them in terms of, how would you signpost them in terms of actually accessing the talent pool? How do they become a brand that's associated to become more sort of youth friendly, or how do they become a brand that actually is open to these opportunities?
Am I allowed to say that they just need to become a member of Youth Employment UK?
Of course, that's a given.
That's
a given.
I think for me, really, it's why we've created a membership model. We have to keep our lights on, so it is important that it's paid. But we have worked hugely hard over the last 12 months to make sure the value there is really strong. So by being a member of Youth Employment UK, they can access advice, support, guidance, case studies, and so much more. Come along to events to really learn from others, but to learn from our data and our research. We've created it in really digestible kind of resources that our members can come along and get. If you can't be a member of Youth Employment UK, I don't know why, but if you can't be a member of Youth Employment UK, then you just have to start talking to some young people in your community, right? Just go into schools, go into colleges, and start to get to know who these kids really are, these young people really are, because you'll be surprised, the shy ones, the extrovert ones, the ones perhaps with special education needs but are gifted in a particular skill. Go and spend some time with them, because when you do that, you start to take away these stereotypes, these labels that you have, and see them as individuals. And when you see them as individuals, you'll start to do the right thing and create the right processes that support them. So I think very much we have to take off the labels, we have to take off the glasses that we've all got of our own experience, and just go meet some young people and spend some time in their world. And I think that's where we can start to close that gap. And actually, by you doing that, those young people will be so much better for the time and care that you've given them just by having a conversation, that they'll also meet you a little bit nearer the halfway mark.
What advice would you give them if they're unsure about where they are in their life? They're a little bit unsure, they're a little bit lost. What sort of generalizing? What sort of advice do you go through, and how would you?
So there's plenty of online information that can give that advice and guidance. But what we really know about young people is they want someone to talk to them, someone who can see them and connect with them. And I think what is there is, if young people can be brave enough to just talk to the adults around them, those who perhaps are working, have jobs, and start to just ask for some help. And it's a difficult place to be a young person, and to recognize that you might just need a bit of a mentor or someone who can guide you and give you some advice. But actually that can be transformational for young people when they can reach out. So helping them to understand that and to be able to reach out is really, really important. And sometimes you just have to do it, right? And sometimes that you just have to start something, and that something will lead to something else, which will lead to something else, and then you become the CEO of a national youth employment organisation, right? And it's the steps along the way. So also I try and encourage young people just to say yes to opportunity, because actually you don't have to have all the answers today. You don't have to have a plan for the rest of your life, but saying yes and doing things that you enjoy and scare you a little bit will take you a little closer to something that's good for you.
Canny Conversation Podcast Series 5 by Safaraz Ali.